Okay, so hi guys, what is the vibe? We are back again to give you guys weekly breakdowns and give you guys trade updates from last week. So as usual, we're going to do two new pairs again this week. Two pairs explaining them and explaining our mindset behind the trade and what we want to do this week. Very, very detailed. So starting from the first pair of last week that we explained was NZD card. NZD card, we wanted to sell. We're waiting to sell from this point right here. We said we're waiting for a pullback on this. We're waiting for a pullback here. This was where the price was around here. We're waiting for a pullback to sell from this point, but price never got here. It missed it by missed it with like how many pips? I think like 2 pips, I guess. So it dumped all the way. We couldn't catch that. We couldn't catch this. We couldn't catch this one too. We couldn't catch this whole dump. We couldn't catch it. So we missed the trade. Okay, with the, then there was GBPCHF. We caught GBPCHF, but we already did like a almost one to one. This trade, I caught a terrible entry on this trade because this was the trade here. This is the trade I caught. Okay, so I entered off this 1 hour engulfing. I entered off this 1 hour engulfing here. So we only closed at a 1-to-1. Remember, one of my rules is I do not take I don't hold trades over weekends that are not up to 1 to 2 weeks to reward. Last week we had 5 consecutive bearish candles, so and we should be anticipating a retracement to the upside a little bit to continue to the downside. So we've had this bullish doji candlestick, so we should most people will be expecting price to buy from here because of this slowdown here, but I'm still looking at sells because this price can just casually come on next week and continue to the downside. So I'm very, very interested in selling GBPCHF next week. But as for this week, we caught a 1-to-1 on that trade, but we closed out because one of our rules of I don't hold trades that are not 1 to 2 weeks to reward over the weekend. So but I think I messed up here because this trade, I was just the one that had a terrible entry. If I had waited to enter here, I would have had a better risk reward on this trade. Very annoying. Very, very terrible entry. I entered very early. I didn't wait. That was my fault entirely. So on to the next page. Okay, so as for Euro CHF pulled back into the area of interest exactly as we talked about. Now came and printed a bearish engulfing, so this is good for this new week we are entering. Also remember we talked about this left head right shoulder here, so we like the way it is looking. Pull back to the rejecting this strong left head and right shoulder, rejecting, so showing indicating to sell, but we didn't catch anything last week, just pulled back. GBPAUD also the same thing. So GBPAUD, everything was basically just pulling back last week. GBPAUD pulled back to this level that we were interested, this first area of interest, and rejected it. So it's indicating that prices were expecting this level. So we are interested in this for next week. For this new week we're entering. So price pulled back, had a beautiful evening star rejection here. So waiting for an pullback into this zone here. Pull back, give us our entry signal to sell GBPAUD. GBP card never pulled back to the area of interest. Remember we said we're waiting for GBP card to have a pullback into this level to sell. GBP card never pulled back, so we never made any move. So the first trade of this week was CAD CHF. The CAD CHF remember we talked about it last week on last week's video. If you don't see last week's video, endeavor to go and see the last week's video. And don't forget to like and subscribe too, because it helps. It's helping you too. Okay, so CAD CHF, remember we talked about it last week that we were interested in buying after once we get a rejection from here. I think I also this was also a terrible entry. A terrible entry I took out. I think I would have waited for this pullback here. But we took the trade regardless of that. After this rejection here. Remember we explained this trade last week on last week's video. So I took a trade from this point here. I got kind of also a data entry on this. Took the trade entered, draw down 2 pips away from my SL. I'm like, I hope me watching this trade, I'm like, look at this dude, bro. Wants to DD me, you know, like destroy my SL, like this is crazy. But it started rejecting, and I didn't even hold for my 1 to 2 weeks to work, which later came and tapped this line exactly as I talked about, which should have been a 1 to 3 weeks to reward, and I closed that a 1 to 0.5 weeks to reward. I keep cutting my profit short, but I don't think I would have held. I think I would have broken even. I think it's actually my break even rather, because of this news that this move that happened. I think I would have gotten stopped out by at break even. So it's still good that we closed, but at the same time, it's not still good that we closed. So USD CHF, I predicted the buy perfectly to the T. I said I was waiting for a pullback into 79,500 to buy. Price pulled back, price bought first, then pulled back to exactly that point and bought. So we missed the trade, it was too fast, we couldn't catch the move. When didn't do anything reasonable, no pullback, nothing. EURJPY, interesting. EURJPY did something. EURJPY, he did it, EURJPY hit my stop loss this week. I lost money on EURJPY, and I had confidence in this trade because I said last week we have been trending up for like 7 weeks. Last week's making it 8 weeks now. I've been trending up for like 7 weeks. So like how like how does this happen? 8 weeks trending up. So when I saw this daily time frame, I saw this 1 hour engulfing. I was like, okay, might be ready for the retracement. I went out to the lower time frame and saw this zone on the 2 hour, on the 1 hour and 2 hour. Saw a 1 hour head and shoulders pattern here. Left head, right shoulder here, and came to the retest. Broke rejection. I took the trade, man. One small profit, one little profit, like 1 to 0.5 R, and back to my stop loss, man. Like, did it me, man, did it. Oh, so at the end of the day, we took 3 trades and we won right about 2 and won about 1. If you want to be seeing this trade firsthand, follow me on Twitter, on X, because I dropped the live updates on this trade there. So let's build a community there and see what we can do. USD didn't do anything. So remember we said we're waiting for a pullback into this line here, to this zone here, around this point to sell, but price never pulled back to that zone. Price also worked. A very volatile week, I can't even lie. So now I'm going to delete everything, all these pairs that I just added here, because I almost got confused because I've already analyzed this week's pairs. Now it's now to explain them. I'm going to delete these ones we don't need again. We don't need this, we don't need this, we don't need this. Nah, shit, no. So I think these are the only ones we are interested in this week, and it's even only this. So we look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're interested in 7 pairs this week. So first pair is NZD card, but we're basically trading the pairs from last week again. Basically interested in them, just the continuation. So we're trying to catch this week. So NZD card. Remember, we're going to pick 2 pairs. We're going to pick 2 pairs that we're going to break down full time. So let's get into it. NZD card, starting from the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, we have this bearish move. Remember, we had this bearish evening star here. Let me mark it up. This evening star here, we had. So we're looking. That's what we say. We're looking for sales. So this accumulation here. So we're looking for continuation. So now we couldn't catch any trade here, but now price is very much under the EMA, so we should be looking for sells. And don't forget what happened to us on ADJPY on the first week about giving space for the weekly wick to wick into the old one. We're going to be looking at a wick like this, then to continue to the price will now maybe continue to the downside with like a candlestick like this. So let me move this shit. So something like this, yeah. Even for a weak fill of this. So when business sells, right? I'm very interested in the sales 100%. I'm going to enter this trade like after market opens. So it's like a very clear signal to you to go and take this trade, man. After market opens. But wait for spread to reduce. So wait for spreads to reduce. So going to the lower time frame, you see this daily left head right shoulder here. Looking for it. I'm currently having the pullback, so we should be looking for sales. So let me bring it out here. Left head right shoulder retest and sell. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this trade because we have this zone marked up. Let me type it up here. So we have the area of interest one daily. So we have this level here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like very strong level of support and resistance. You notice anytime price came here, it rejected, came here, rejected, came here, rejected, like over and over again. So this is a very strong level of support and resistance that like anybody was, and this now stop it off. You now have the best reversal pattern you can have. That's the left head right shoulder. Then we have a pullback and then have this evening star formation here. But I want this trade immediately market open, so I'm going to risk 1% on this trade because why not? If I lose it, at the same time, I can wait for a confirmation entry. But I believe that price might just come back, just have you wake into this zone because of this EMA. Wake into this EMA and dump massively. So we're going to start. Let's catch a 1 to 2 from this. So immediately market opens, this is the first trade I'm taking. And also, and we have, if you notice on the 4-hour time frame, we have this left head right shoulder again, retest of neckline, rejection. So if you're expecting sales now, like let me bring it out so you guys can see, like very clear. Left head right shoulder, retest and sell. It's basically clear. If you daily weekly bearish moves under the weekly under the EMA. Let me type it under. Let me type it here. Remember, we have weekly bullish, daily bearish, 4-hour bullish. 4-hour is bullish because here we have the lower low, lower high, and here we have the lower low. So as price broke above this point, that 4-hour is now bullish. So remember, what we need to take a trade is 2 consecutive time frames in sync, and right now we don't have 2 consecutive time frames in sync because weekly is bullish, daily is bearish, 4-hour is bearish. And what we need to go take a trade is we need daily bearish, we need 4-hour bearish. So but based on the experience, I can take this trade. So we have this weekly bullish, daily bearish, 4-hour bullish. Then 2, we have weekly bearish what? Bearish moves. Let me just call it that. Then we have weekly under the EMA. Then we have daily, testing neckline of head and shoulders, whatever, and 5 We have retesting neckline of 4-hour head and shoulder, also H and S. So we are building up our confluences here, and then we now had the 4-hour rejection. A lot of them, a lot of confluences on this trade, and also under 4-hour EME. Very, I like this trade 100%. NZD card. I'm very interested in NZD card. Then on to the next one, we have NZD USD. We're interested in selling also because if we go up to the weekly time frame. Weekly, as usual, this is the weekly time frame. We have NZD card. This is the higher low, and this is the higher high. I don't know if I still need to mark this up. Go to the last video, you will see how I mark up support higher high and higher lows. So this is the higher, this was the higher high. This was the higher high. I don't use the wicks, I use the bodies. I keep saying this. So this was the higher low. So when price broke under this zone, price became bearish. So now we're looking for sales. We're meant to be looking for sales. So as we're going, we're typing it up. One weekly bearish. Weekly bearish. This level I marked up here has this rejection here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I notice we have minimum of 3 touches, so it's already enough. And I said the more recent the better, so we don't need to go back. But if you want, you can go back and check how much support and resistance we have on this level. Very strong level of support and resistance. We have daily time frame here. This is the equivalent to daily time frame. Daily time frame, we also see this beautiful left head right shoulder retest of neckline to sell. So I also want to sell NZD USD. So we have price retesting the neckline, this strong level of support and resistance. You know, the time price got here, price sold, or bought here. Anytime price got here, it rejected. Anytime price got here, even in the past, here anytime price got here, rejected, price got here, rejected. Like every time it happens. So we should be expecting history to repeat itself again. And price is currently rejecting right now. So we're going to also retesting the daily EMA. If we go down to the 4-hour time frame, you see this. Also you also see another left head right shoulder. NZD USD NZD card, and we're actually looking very identical right now. So because of the NZD there, so we're also looking for sales. But the thing about NZD USD, I'm going to be waiting for some kind of pullback. If we have a pullback and a rejection, then I'll sell. That's now sell. But NZD card, I'm going to enter immediately market opens and after spread goes down. So GBPCHF, I think we'll just run through this remaining because I don't want to waste a lot of time. GBPCHF, I'm interested in selling because I've explained it before. We've had 5 bearish candlesticks. We've had a doji. We're expecting doji we're expecting doji for price to maybe start pulling back from there, but I'm still interested in the sales. But don't forget that it can still have that retracement. But I personally, I'm not going to trying to buy. I'm trying to sell 100%. But what I'm predicting is that price is going to have some kind of pullback. To our, it can pull back to our entry to give us another confirmation entry with a tighter stop loss. It will be very nice, because if we can enter on lower time frames, we can have a high risk to reward on this GBPCHF. I think I basically explained it before. So let this thing load. Okay. And the time frame our usual is bearish. We had this bearish candlestick. We're expecting a wick. Next week we should be looking for a wick to the upside. That wick, the upside down, when I'm looking at a candlestick that will do this. Let's think I'll do this. So this is what we are looking at. This is what we're looking for here. A wick and then a candlestick that'll do this. So looking for sales on GBPCHF, continuation sales. So and if you go down to the lower time frame, that wick is gonna be the 4-hour low or the 2-hour pullback. So remember I said last week that we have, why is this thing glitching? Sure, so still go away. I remember I said last week that we had this left head, right shoulder here. So well, this is the pullback and we are selling. So what we're waiting for right now is a pullback like this to come and give us, or if a pullback like this to come and give us another left head, some kind of left head right shoulder. Let me show you. Some kind of left head right shoulder here. That might be this. Left head, right shoulder ish here. Enter on this right shoulder to sell. That's my plan for GBPCHF. Very, very basic, and the risk reward is actually far. This is where we are targeting. This is a 1 to 5 hour. If I had a better entry, so I would 1 to 8 hour. Doesn't mean we can't still catch up to 6 hour or 4 hour from this, because if we pull back to this point to sell, if we pull back to this point or so, stop loss will be above here and TP will be like here. So minimum of 1 to 4 weeks to reward can be caught here. Stop loss is not actually going to be that big, but minimum 1 to 4 we caught here. That's when it gives us the entry. UCHF, as usual, we have our support and resistance level. It has not changed. It's still the same one. So we've had the pullback. UCHF right now on the daily is, I'll still call it bearish. I'll not regard this high here. I'll still be using this one and this one. I'll be using this one and this low here. So I'll not regard the middle one. I'll not regard this structure here. I'll disregard it. Why? Because let me see, experience, and I won't regard it. So we've had a pullback on the weekly. We also had a weekly doji candlestick looking like cat CHF, some kind of. So on the 4 hour, we've had a rejection from this point. So we are looking for a pullback. We're looking for a pullback on the 4 hour to sell. 4 hour is actually bearish right now. So looking for a pullback on the 4 hour to sell to this point here, this point of resistance, support. Looking for a pullback. That's why I set my alarm here. Let me type it up. So they said, let me just add message, my alarm. Let me just add it. Add slower time frame support, whatever. So yeah, as long as you get the point, looking for a pullback to sell. Jeez, I didn't enlarge this. Very, very sorry. So waiting for the pullback on USHF to sell, basically. So on to the next pair, UGP AUD. I think I've explained this pair before. I said I'm waiting for a pullback, so I've seen the rejection, I've seen the pullback, original pullback. I'm waiting for, I've seen the rejection. So I'm waiting for something like an M pattern, a leg for this push here, a leg to sell. Basically, that's the plan. SZD, we want to sell. Very interested in selling. If you notice, see this strong level of support and resistance price has made here. If you notice, see this resistance, support. Like it is just there. Like your eyes, you should be able to see it, boys. It will take you time, but this is another resistance. Like if I keep going back, I can keep on marking them up like every fucking way. Like okay, see another one. I can keep going back and I'll keep on marking them. See more here. See another one. I can keep like very, very strong. So we should expecting price should come here and do the same thing. Have a pullback to sell. Simple. Like life is, it just makes life easy for you. Just if we pull back and the kind of our entry signal to sell. Shouldn't be hard, man. Really hard. So Euro NZD, the last pair. I won't really pay attention to GBP card. GBP card is just there. I just want to be monitoring it, you know, not something big. UNZD. UNZD is why I want to sell. Regards the weekly time frame. But like I'm so interested in the sales. That's why it's at the bottom of my list ish. So is NZD card on the UNZD on the weekly time frame is bullish. But we have gotten to another high. Like this got here and rejected. So and it's back here again. And it's now making doji candlesticks as if it wants to reject. So if now I now went out to the daily time frame. We'll try selling this thing here before. See these nice level support and resistance. It's just making me smile. See this one, so 1, 2, 3. Enter was here, rejected. Like, see, and this is also another support here. So we want to sell here. Why? Because we're at the top of this move and we've had this evening star formation here. That's what's making me to be interested in this pair. That's what's attractive to me. This daily evening star formation here had a rejection if you want the 2-hour time frame as we did on CHF. Let's see if I use the 2-hour time frame. It's not support and resistance is on all the time frames, just about how you look at it. So we had this resistance, support, beautiful level that we want to price to pull back to. Now that's when you now come and see something like this: left head, right shoulder, sell, type shit. Then that's basically that's what we're waiting for. So I think that's all the pairs for this week. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow me on X, follow me on Twitter, whatever you want to call it, because I'm going to be dropping the updates there live. Peace out, guys. Peace out, please. Let me rest.